In this video, I'm going to tell you what many people worldwide consider to be the eighth wonder of the world, and that is why Filipinas are searching for older men. Over the years, I've spoken to many Filipinas who've told me very similar stories as to why they're searching for and commencing a relationship with a man who could be her father or in many cases her grandfather. Now, I must admit that some years ago I was also sceptical and thought it must be all about the money, but I was wrong. Just as many people who have this belief of all Filipinas who are in relationships with older men, they are also wrong. Sure, such age gap relationships are not for everyone, because it can make some people far too uncomfortable, which I truly understand. But we should have more of an understanding that not all Filipinas do this for money, and indeed they can be very genuine in what they do and what they search for. I've found some very common themes as to why a young, beautiful Filipina would want to be in a relationship with a much older man. And if you want the truth around this rather sensitive topic, then be sure to buckle up and stay with me here. Just quickly, if you're looking to date a Filipina and don't know where to start, why not check out my affiliate link in the pinned comment and description to the Philippines' #1 dating site, where it's free to create an account and view tens of thousands of beautiful Filipina profiles right now. So yes, I'll get it out of the way straight away and say indeed, some Filipinas are looking for older men to get what they can from him, and some may even stay with him until he passes away in order to get an inheritance. So naturally, guys need to be careful if they're looking for a genuine Filipina, not to get one who has ulterior motives. With that out of the way, what could a beautiful young Filipina possibly see in a much older man? And when I say younger, I'm talking about in her 20s, with a man in his 50s and above. Over the years, it's been rather fascinating for me chatting to so many Filipinas via my channel and in emails, where I've been able to get a really good insight to how many of these women think around dating and serious relationships. One must know that Filipinas by and large are very family-orientated women, because this is how they've been brought up. They learn to rely on family and they love the closeness of family, so it's rather natural that when they grow into an adult, she'll also want a close and loving family of her own. The problem that I'm hearing over and over again from the younger Filipinas is that they have trouble in finding a local man who's serious about her and their relationship. So many of these guys rather hang out with friends smoking and drinking, and quite often this takes place while the Filipina goes off to make the money, as many of these guys just don't want to work. This, of course, puts all the pressure on the Filipina to be the breadwinner in the relationship, where she sees her hard work as not important because he puts his hand out to her to get money to furnish his habits. The next issue that many Filipinas have told me is that they struggle to find a Filipino male around their own age who's serious about a relationship. Many of these guys may take on an extra lover or mistress, which makes the Filipina feel devalued and unimportant in that relationship, which is totally understandable. After all, she's been looking for a man to commence her own family with, and it's a dream she's had since she was a young girl. So many of these Filipinas have mentioned to me that they've had more than one relationship with a Filipino man, and it's been the same each time. Simply, they believe that so many young Filipinos are not just mature enough to give her what she needs at that time. And this is where it really starts to get interesting, when understanding just how Filipinas think about relationships and what it actually takes to find a compatible partner who wants the same things in the relationship as she does. And this is why I believe that Filipinas and older foreign men can actually have a very successful relationship. What I've found over the years is rather astounding, and it really surprised me just how much a young woman from a developing country can be so mature in her outlook around relationships and what it takes to have a successful, long-term relationship. They seem to have a very good understanding that the outside of the person is just the shell, and it's what's inside the person's heart that really counts. Simply put, they know that one can be an amazing looking man, yet the way he treats you may be far less than you deserve, which in the end makes this man rather ugly. And the opposite applies in her mind to many of these Filipinas, where a man who may be old, balding and fat may have a heart of gold, and as such, she sees him in a different light than others may see this man. If her goal in life is to have a successful and happy relationship, she understands that sometimes that can be found in a man who is much older and settled in life. Perhaps with someone who may have had all his partying ways many years ago and is now looking for a good and happy life with a decent woman. She knows that most likely he won't be running around taking on a mistress, and she also knows that with a decent older man she can keep a happy family together, and she'll give her all to make this happen. So what these Filipinas will do in a sense is to sacrifice the cosmetics of a person and choose what's inside the person. To many people on the outside looking in, this can be rather baffling, or like I said, to them, it's the eighth wonder of the world. But that's because these people only see an old man with a beautiful woman, and that's it. They don't see what she sees, and they certainly don't understand her thinking around this. And perhaps that's why in Western countries so many relationships break down. Is it possible if more people understood a Filipina's reasoning around this, and they search for someone who has a kind heart and is a decent person, rather than if they looked a certain way, then there may be more happy relationships worldwide. These women certainly have learnt what makes relationships work out, and perhaps they've learnt the hard way in their country, but I certainly can see the merit in their thinking, and this makes total sense. How many of you guys out there have dated an absolute knockout of a woman in your country, only to find out in the end that she was rather selfish and materialistic, or just downright a nasty person? The looks don't always match the person we hope they'll be. So some Filipinas seemingly have a natural ability to see past the outside and deep dive into one's soul. I believe this is because of her drive to have a good family and a loving husband, which is placed at the very top of what's important in her life. For sure, there's other things that we all would like in life which are important, such as financial security, which is something that she may strive for, but this doesn't mean that's her sole objective. If she can give an older foreign man a happy life with her, where he is loved and looked after, which is reciprocated, then what flows on from that is beneficial to both people in that relationship. It's not a one-way street here, as many will have you believe. And I really do think that these Filipinas have found a formula to a successful long-term relationship that women and men from other countries could learn from. Be sure to check out my age gap relationship playlist for more valuable information and tips from the card on screen now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.